Welcome everybody to another goddamn horror podcast. I am Jonas. I'm here in Bushwick. It was hot as fuck today. We got Graham, Captain Bum out. How's it going, man?
I can explain it in my week of YouTube and how that's gone. It started with battle raps. I
Hmm.
was watching some battle raps because I wanted to get like the kind of cool lyricism. It's all just a bunch of dudes trying to be Eminem and 8 Mile. But like there's some really great lines. You start to learn a lot of the characters. I watched a lot and learned a lot about it. And within a week, now I'm just watching like illegal underground fight clubs, like extreme fighting, with
Fuck yeah.
everybody wears masks and headshots are totally allowed. Nothing's illegal except weapons. It's
Are you
Gotta
so
cleansing
love
your
that.
palate with like OG Boston beatdown videos?
what's that?
So are you cleansing your palate like with OG Boston beatdown videos? They were like
No,
videos
I
of what happened
should.
in the
Yeah,
hardcore
yeah,
scene.
yeah.
The
No, I
classic,
should.
the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
No,
having a
just
bun.
these weird dudes that like all they all have guns on their hoodies and stuff, but like there's no weapons allowed.
Just beating
And
shit out of each
they're
other.
not allowed to have nurses, I don't think, but they have like scantily clad women with masks on that like help the dead dudes off the court or whatever. They
Well,
fight
sure,
in
you
a different place. Sometimes
can't
it's
be
like a
spreading disease.
garage. One time it was like a hangar and they started at each end of the hangar. And when it was like, all right, fight, they just ran at each other and then just started punching the same anyway. It was awesome, actually.
Nice.
But it's not good for my head. I know this. And like, it's just getting worse every morning at like 4 in the morning. Still can't sleep watching
I've
some
been I've been on
fucking
the internet rage baiting
meatheads.
idiots when I watch stupid shit like that too. Like,
Yeah.
because I watched the one where it's like first it was Power Slap, which like shout out to my brother Derek, because my brother Derek, one of his best friends, is a Power Slap competitor. I'm not gonna call them an athlete. I don't give a fuck what you ask me to do, but I'm not gonna do that. But when I watched that the first time, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This is just CTE competition. That's cool. And then the new one that they have is just two dudes that literally run into each other, and the one that falls down is the loser. And like, fuck, I commented on. I was like, we're truly a stupid, stupid gender. Like, we're the dumbest fucking
Yeah.
apes. Where we're just like, this is gonna be a fun game. Let's literally run into each other from opposite sides of a football field with no pads. By the way, just dudes, just straight head to head. And I'm like, yeah, those guys are gonna end up in a wheelchair like immediately. But yay! Like good for
I
It's
watch
sports.
it's
videos of wild horses like running together, crossing shallow streams and stuff.
it's
That's
so
so much
much
nicer.
better.
So much. It's so
That's
much better.
so much better.
Yes. I do want to say we don't have Mary Beth on the show today because she is currently on set right now, doing a movie for Little Spark Films
In
over in Texas.
Texas.
Yay,
In
Mary Beth!
Texas. And it's ironic, unfortunately, that she's not here because the conversation that we're going to be having today, she would be perfect for. But our guests today, we have Elise Salomon and we have Heather Buckley. How you guys both doing?
Hello. Pretty good.
Alive.
What? Alive is about all we can really ask for at this point, right? So we wanted to bring you guys on because we want to talk about something that needs to be talked about more in horror circles and just in filmmaking circles at all, but especially in horror too. We need to talk about this more, and there is no better people to have this conversation with than people that have to live with this every single day of trying to make this fucking industry work for you. So we want to talk about filmmaking from the woman's perspective on this one, and also the woman filmmakers that we seem to not see get shouted out as much as they should and get the attention that they should. But it's a conversation that I think is long overdue, especially for a show that is hosted by two dudes. It just needs to. It's fucking. We need to talk about this stuff. So, who
I
wants to start?
I'm just saying that we need the dudes who are in charge to elevate the voices and help the checks get written.
That's
Nothing
what we're
wrong with
trying to
dudeness.
do.
Thank you,
Nothing
for
wrong with
guys.
sure.
dudeness.
Yes, thank you both. Yeah.
Absolutely. I've been on record saying that um I enjoy and think horror directed by women is just better. Like
That's almost always the case. Like
Like
legitimately, it is
like
almost
I
always the case.
love horror written and directed by women. It's just usually better. And I don't
Well,
know
like,
if that's because you don't get to see it a lot, so it feels fresher and feel just different. And I like my horror from different angles. I
right.
don't need it from my angle, like
And like,
so
and
it's
Heather, you know, like as well as anybody, because from the conversations that we've had, that like I'm a big extreme horror guy. And I think that, like, especially on the extreme horror side of it, the more you dig into women filmmakers on the extreme horror side, you get movies that are just significantly better from start to finish, like almost every time. What do you think on that, Heather?
Well, I mean, one of the great edge lords on the Black Mansion slate is Louise Ward. Castration movie, all
Fuck
the
yeah.
stuff that she loves in the background. We're all like fucked up people. I mean, I love it. There's no reason. I mean, the way that I grew up, the way my family raised me was that you're just you could do whatever you want. You could like whatever you want. I felt that
Hmm.
way when I was young and I liked, dolls, Transformers, guinea pig movies. I liked lace and spikes and things like that. I felt like everything, those are all the things I liked. Those are all Heather Buckley things. I can watch things that are incredibly extreme. I could go on YouTube and watch like the Kawaii Lucky Scoops videos and look at all the pink bows. I mean, it's all us. But also, I extend that out into the world that everyone on this podcast is like that belongs to you too. You just like what you like. So
Mm.
I've
Sure.
never so I've never looked at these things in little putting things in little boxes. I think the world puts you in a box. I'm not a
Yeah, I
big,
agree.
I'm not a
I
big
agree
fan
with
of that.
that. Yeah, I agree with that too, because I think, the whole putting into a box thing is something that I think happens. It happens, unfortunately, pretty automatically. Like when you start to see things in entertainment, and I think it's just kind of the way that we've been raised, societally speaking. And it's a bummer because that shouldn't be happening. Like it shouldn't just automatically put something in a box when you see it. And like the reason I bring up the extreme horror thing with female filmmakers is because a lot of the times the movies that I watch that are extreme horror films come from a perspective that is unfortunately much more lived in within, female circles, or at least more like noticed and more publicized in that sense. So the stories that come out end up being higher quality stories because they come from a more real place. At least that's been my experience on a lot of the ones that I've seen. Like, rape revenge movies especially are like one of the biggest ones. But just in general, I've noticed that that kind of thing does tend to happen where when guys make them, like they're a little more exploitative, they're a little more like unnecessarily sleazy, and
I I'm
unnecessarily
a
grimy.
I have my little flag out for I love things that are sleazy and grimy, and I think everyone should be allowed into that play field. The issue is who is getting financed. We don't have a clear look at like what female filmmakers are going to be sleazy, grimy. We are just talking about because I'm a EP on fuck toys, the idea of raunchiness. Fuck toys is
Right,
raunchy. I mean, there's other raunchy movies made by boys in the 80s, and there's not any great big flag when that comes out. The
right.
Nutballs, all the ski movies. So
hot
it's just,
dog.
yeah, who's allowed to tell these stories? Who has access to finance to tell the stories? Because to be a director and have a story, you need money. Anybody on this podcast, if I gave you $1.5 million, you'd be able to make something. But that is
True.
but there's a lack of access, a lack of access of who gets funding, who gets to make these movies. So when we're talking about who makes the best gangster movies, who makes the best raunchy movies, who makes the best like eyes gouging out of people movies. I mean,
Sure,
there's women fans out there, which makes me believe that there's huge women who want to make really gross, horrible, also allow women to be mediocre. It can't just
sure.
be like the women that are like the A+ student that can never fail, that gets the ability to do something or noticed. That's not how it works in any other sort of like gender. The boys can be okay to brilliant and great. They get many chances to get their movies made. So I'm not saying take any dollars away from boys because I love boys. There's lots of boys in the Black Mansion slate. I work with a lot of them. It's just allow everyone Allow
Sure.
boys and girls and thems and people with all colors. I mean, that's what Black Mansion always stood for, is that let's all play, let's all make these movies, let's all have different perspectives. That's the excitement of art, and the excitement when I was like a creative lead is like to say, based on one brief, all the different ideas that people would come up with. And
In
I love
Fuck,
them, and they're
fuck
all
my
yeah.
correct.
experience, like, it's really the, I think the piece that's missing from my experience is the opportunity to develop my voice, to develop my projects. And like I was lucky that I met Heather because she kind of scooped me up and was like, I understand what you're trying to do. Let me help you. And like the things that are happening with my projects right now are happening because Heather devoted several years to developing things that would have cost me like $20,000 that Heather did for free as an independent producer because she believed in me. And like pitch decks that literally are like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life and took her like hours and out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and also the work from before that where she could say, "Oh, I know what this is," and like effortlessly reference like 20 films that should be in the pitch deck. You know what I mean? Like that all that is time, and time is valuable. And I think the issue, there's a lot, right? And there are probably bigger issues than this one, but the issue that has affected my development, like as a writer, the most has been that I don't have development money. You know what I mean? So when someone is like, this is a page one rewrite, we see what the movie is, we see what you're trying to do. That is like me staying up till 3 in the morning after working two jobs, trying for like 4 months to do what if I'd had development money, I maybe could have done in 3 weeks, you know, and or just taken like a 2 week vacation and did it. But I haven't taken a vacation in I don't even know, like 12 years.
Yo,
So
when I
like,
see
I'm
people
right
doing
there
yeah.
like
with
those
you.
writing retreats where they go off to like someplace in the mountains or something, and they're like, it's just gonna be me and my laptop and the waterfalls, and I'm like, what fucking life do you
Well,
have? Like,
there's
I can't do that. I don't have the
so
money for that.
so I will say this, there's an opportunity for some of those retreats, wink, wink,
Mm-mm.
where they give you a scholarship. And that's
Oh.
because people donate to them as like nonprofits, or they
Mm.
just have money and they want to give artists that they believe in, scholarships. So
Oh, nice.
sometimes they're full scholarships, sometimes they're partial scholarships. I wish that I wasn't always the person in need that needed a scholarship if I was going to do something like that. And I also wish that in general, not just women, but like the independent industry at large, like had development funding. Because the script is never perfect when it comes to you. It's like it takes so many rounds, so many drafts, before you're ready to send it out to talent. And then talent has notes. And then like you attach a director and a director has notes. And like so many of us are just working for free. And that's like 3 years of our lives or 5 years of our lives. Um, and
Well, at least
it,
that's why it's the
yeah,
death of a thousand cuts, because we have to think
yeah,
about it this way. I come from a blue collar background. I look at being a film producer, getting things financed is a job for my writers, a job for the
yeah,
directors that are on the slate. And if you never finance my writers, if you never finance my directors, that's a death of a thousand cut. How can you even maintain time in the industry? Because it's
yeah,
not a privilege. Like we're talking about people who have money, come from money, have a spouse that can support them. This isn't the situation here. And so
yeah,
again, the more that you don't write that check, the more that there's not development, the more that like everyone has to have like a grueling full-time job to live in Los Angeles or New York City or the Jers, is that
yeah,
we can't even create these stronger opportunities for ourselves because we have to like pay our groceries, pay healthcare insurance. And again, you never finance my movies, which means you never give me a job. And
Yeah.
it's just cycles of begging for a job and begging for anything in these movies. But also on the other hand, knowing what people want, unique voices, fresh voices, things that speak to the kids. Like forever I was like, Black Mansion Films, it's like the audience or the kids who watch Euphoria. And then now we see like movies made for this demographic and going crazy. I was just at Newport Mall. Obsession is still playing. Those are the fresh and
Oh
interesting
yeah.
ideas. I mean, and I love all those guys that were able to hit it out of the park. But also, if we're only looking at YouTube filmmakers, there's even an article. Those are just guys, mostly white guys. And again,
Yeah.
we need other stories and other people. We need to give opportunities to other people. And it's just we're still talking about this so many years after. It's just they're just not writing a check. It's okay to write a check for a girl.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think, and
So,
that's,
uh,
Graham, what were you going to say?
like, so growing up, it goes back a little bit. Growing up, you had interests in all sorts of things. Were you bullied for some of them?
Of course. Oh my God,
Right?
that I like punk, that I liked horror, that I had my
Yeah.
Fangories and gore zones, and I was never smart enough to realize that they were trying to like smack my gore zone out of my hand. But that's what they were
Right.
doing. That they didn't want me to listen to the Clash. They didn't want me to listen to Ramones. They didn't want me to listen to Chains or wear combat boots. But I somehow were like, oh, I'm an outsider. They don't like me. I don't understand why. And all I had to do was to give up the things that are close to me. But I want to tell all the little Heathers out there that you do not give up those things that you love, because then, you get to live your life as an artist and a filmmaker and a writer with these like great friends and collaborators, because
Mhm.
I loved it so much. I was not going to let it go. But yeah, no, it was never cool for me to like punk, and it was never cool for me to like horror, which is interesting. I will always paraphrase what Sam Raimi said many years ago. He said that he knows that women always loved horror. It's just okay now to like horror, which means that
Sure.
you're not as beaten up if you raise your hand as an Evil Dead fan, as a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. And yeah, again, if we go back to the edgelord stuff, there's so many girls out there that love Evil Dead 2, that are going to go see Evil Dead Burn, which seems to be very disgusting and gross. Chainsaw fans. I was even on a podcast, which I like always want to talk about more. Where are the women making Stephen King movies? I was on the
Yeah.
Kingcast about this because there's so many Stephen King fans in my life that are girls that it's wild. I'm my own Stephen King fan. I love it. And there's like three who's ever been able to like no every time I see a movie, an IP being reboot, it's a white guy. It's
Yeah.
some guy who's in charge of every IP, all the Stephen King stories. And at some point, it's like, does the industry look at themselves and see this and go, is it unfair? But if that is the demographic that's getting all the money and all the power, why would they ever give it up and give it to anybody else? Why would they give anyone else a shot?
Yeah, I mean that's what you're bringing up. Like it makes sense in the sense of it being fucked up. Like it is fucked up that they're not looking at more diversified stories, more people's voice. They're not looking at women being like, yeah, we could write you a check for this amount to make this movie because this movie sounds awesome. And I think that does come into play as to why we have a shitload of mediocre horror movies that
And
hit
you always,
mainstream.
and I was gonna say, you always don't have to look at these stories as like it needs to be, because I hate any stories about women or kids or pregnancy or motherhood. It doesn't
Sure.
have to be about the person's identity. It can be, but anyone can tell these
Yeah.
type of stories. They can
Yeah.
they can take any position that they want, because let's just like in this box of human beings, and there's a whole bunch of different human beings. It's like they can take their own take on their story. I love
Yeah.
the dark
Yeah.
cat. I own a Riviera. I have a little thing here. My friend Steve bought me that's at a high tone son of a bitch. Elise Salomon would be amazing to write that script because her like rockabilly authentic background to write a character like George Stark. We all have different interests that does not
Right.
involve us like this small box that society puts us in.
Yeah.
The
100%.
project like that, hopefully I'll be able to tell you guys more about uh in August. But that was based off of a one-line pitch that Heather gave me. And the main character is a guy, and it's really, really violent, and it's really, really there's a lot of sex in it. And
I like that
I'm
you said that
not
almost shyly, like there's a
You're
lot of
so
well,
sex.
because I
sorry.
Like,
because I'm not, like, Heather knows, like, if anyone brings that, I'm blushing right now. Like, if
all
anyone
right.
brings that stuff up in front of me, like, I turn purple, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but of course, like, I like, as an artist, like, I understand the feelings and the needs and have a little bit of experience. And like, so I want to write about that stuff. It's like, I come alive when I'm writing from that perspective.
Hmm.
And, you know, um, I actually thought, like, should I change the name on the cover page to Evan instead of Elise? Because this is like a guy, and it's like a very, very, very violent, drama, tortured romance like movie. And I was
Right.
like, it's just going to be, I think immediately people are going to be like, why didn't you write it like as a woman? Like, why isn't the main character a woman? And it's like, I don't know. Like, he came to me, like, he was just like in my mind. And I wrote, like, it is me, of course, in a lot of ways.
Sure.
But like, that was the character that spoke to me. I don't need it to be a woman to represent my feelings and my thoughts and my darkest fears and my worst instincts and all that stuff. And so, like, art, like Heather was saying earlier, like, it should just be open.
Hmm.
We can't be like, oh, a woman is making this, or a woman's going to direct this, so it needs to be about a woman. Like, no,
Right.
you know.
I've always
An
kind of
artist,
hated.
I gotta say,
Oh,
an artist needs to be as open. You need to be the moon, you need to be the stars in the sky, the ocean. All of us here of artists need to be all these things and be open to the experiences that we share in the world. It's our
Mhm.
experience and our emotional space and our imagination. I want to hear, and again, I'll keep saying that. It's like I want to hear that from everybody. And
the
that's
Yeah.
what like Elise is
imagination
talking
part
about
is
too.
is
Yeah,
big, I think, too, because I've always hated the write what you know
That means, to
thing.
me, that's always meant emotionally. Like, if
100%.
you have
Right, but
empathy,
also I think
you
write
can
what
write
you
from.
want. Like
Mhm.
like I always took it, I guess, more literally. Like you write what you know. Like it was
I
always a
think a lot of
criticism.
people took it literally. I believe that it's meant to be your emotional life.
And I
Like,
think
I'm
that
not a
too.
plumber, right? So if
Right.
I, but when you write a story about a plumber, like, you're not writing about the profession of plumbing. Like, that's an
Sure.
easy job to research those pieces of the script. You're writing a human being, with, needs and wants and obstacles and character flaws and all these things. That's what you're writing. So the write what you know is like the pain, the joy, the adventure of life. That's
Yeah.
the write what you know part to me. But I do think a lot of people took it literally.
Well, I think
Yeah.
also it's sort of, I don't know. It's fine. I just think it's kind of like self-explanatory if you're writing imagination and stories and creating anything that's fiction. Like,
Well, I think you have to tap into certain things when you're writing it too. Like, so I'll use what I'm doing as an example because when I started writing Dead Men Don't Rape, I was thinking about it as like when I was writing the characters initially, this was like very, very early on in the script. I
Is
started
this
writing
the
it.
project with Mary Beth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the thing is with that is when I first started writing it, I was like, yeah, I'm down to kill some rapists on screen. Like I can write those. I can write like, maniacal kill sequences. But the emotional part of the rest of the script and the emotional part of the characters and stuff, I knew when I walked into starting that script that that's not something I would be able to pull out myself. And I had already been talking to Mary Beth about other stuff, but I was like, I think I want you to direct this, but I also want you to co-write it because there's aspects of the script emotionally and
Yeah.
also aspects of the script from a character breakdown that I just have zero experience in because thank
Yeah.
God I'm not a rapist and thank God I've never been raped. So I have absolutely no like idea emotionally on
what that
either
feels
side of
like.
those things.
Yeah. Mhm.
So when I brought Mary Beth in, like that's when we went over our first like actual script breakdown and like really started talking about stuff, that's where like she came in real clutch and started to like talk to me about the way that certain things would be presented, the way that certain lines would be and stuff like that. And that was important to me because I didn't want it to come from a place that was ignorant, I guess is the best way to put it. Like,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
was, I was ignorant of a lot of those things. So I never wanted it to come across like that because I like exploitation films, but I don't like films that are exploitative, if that makes sense. Like stylistically, I like an exploitation film, but I don't like a movie that exploits the wrong thing, you
Yeah.
know? And that's why I've gone on record as not liking I Spit on Your Grave, because even though it's a legendary film, like I think it's too exploitative, to a point where it's just like, okay, now you're just fetishizing the assault, which
I
is like,
watched those movies in Irreversible and Last House on the Left.
see,
I
I love
watched them.
those two though. I love those two.
Yes. No, I watched
Yeah.
all the exploitative movies, all the crazy shit.
Yeah, and like I love those movies for the most part. Like Irreversible is one that's really funny to me because like I'll watch it. I've seen Irreversible. My therapist would call it a concerning amount of times, but I've seen it quite a few. And I told one of my friends to watch it one time because he wanted a rape revenge movie that was like really, he wanted one that was going to affect him. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, do Irreversible. And he watched it and he got back to me like 2 hours later. He's like, you son of a bitch. And I was just like, I warned you. You asked me, and that's what you got. But I think those movies are made great. Like they're,
I think Revenge's rape scene, though Irreversible is more Baroque, and I feel that the audience jumps more when she's kicked in the face. Spoilers. But
mhm,
I feel Revenge because she's made to feel like a little girl and then taken advantage of. And to me, like that's far more emotionally potent for me when we're talking about that sort of response. But all these movies when we're talking about like the most triggering of all the rape revenge movies, it's like those are all different types of flavors of exploitation or not exploitation
mhm,
of talking about these subjects. And I would want to feel that if you're a lady and you want to make any of those flavors of the rainbow, you can. But I think
sure.
a lot of it comes down to when we say the word director out in the world. This is so when I was because we're talking about like was I bullied as a little girl? Here's another sad thing. I started my life as a fine artist. I still draw. At some point when I was very young, before I was 13, I knew that I should write my initials on my pictures as HB because I was afraid if they saw that a woman made this that there would be some sort of, you know, judgment. Which is
Sure.
why on my emails it says H Buckley and I sign my name HB. Is because I want one of my emails to go out into the world to not have the heft of a woman asking to make exploitation films, visionary films, art films, and what that
Makes
means.
sense. I mean,
But
it
everyone knows
makes
who you are,
unfortunate
Heather.
sense. Yeah,
New
I'm just kidding.
people may not know who I am. New people
It's
may not know
true.
who I am. This is to
that's
new
very true.
people.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Well,
Yes.
and like you bring up Revenge because like Revenge is made for it was written and directed by Coralie Farge. Is that how we pronounce her last name?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I think that's what it was. And like she's incredible, She also made The Substance, which is a fucking fantastic movie. And but she was also one that kind of came out of nowhere as far as the mainstream goes. Like if you would have seen like initially saw the poster of Revenge, I don't think that it would be an obvious thing that a woman made it or anything like that. But then when you watch the movie, and this is again me, this is just my own perspective on it. When I watched the movie Revenge, that feels like somebody made it who has somewhat experience in that realm. And it's a beautiful film for what it is. Like, and when I say for what it is, because it is hard to call a rape revenge movie a beautiful film, quote unquote, but it's a beautiful film. Like the third act, the way that color is used in the third act with like the blood and everything, and the way that things are certain like saturation on these things and everything, it's a beautiful film, just
Mhm.
visually speaking. Um, but the same thing like with The Nightingale. The Nightingale was from, Jennifer Kent. And
Yeah,
that movie, like,
so disturbing.
yeah, that movie like fucking hurts, but at the same time, again, a beautiful film. And it wrestles with
I've
things.
interviewed, just so you know, I interviewed so the Ranger and Revenge were on the film fest circuit at the same time. I for Dread Central interviewed both the director and the star, and it is coming from a real place, just a real, they told me some stories, and you could go to the Dread Central article to read this. Is
Hmm.
that like as a little girl on the bus in France, like just a little girl like being leered at, it's just being in
Yeah,
a world where you felt unsafe at any age, which was horrifying and heartbreaking to hear. And we can hear that story from so many other girls, and it's just as heartbreaking to hear every single time.
100%.
Even
Yeah.
though we know, even though the world of, that always resonates me, the story that they told me, because that's as far as like 2019 that was out in the
Yeah.
world. 2018, yeah, it was back then. So yeah, a lot of this is live stuff. I'll watch a movie and I'll see some sort of like, why is that, again, the emotional reality is sort of like a 1-to-1 ratio, and I think sometimes that comes from a lived in experience. Sometimes that comes from like, oh, a woman wrote this, like promising young woman. I just feel that that is coming definitely from a woman's perspective. But I also want to challenge is like, we have to think about movies that just come from anyone's perspective that women should be allowed to make. It doesn't always have to be the woman's perspective.
Of
Like
course. Yeah.
guys, just like I love guy movie girl characters that guys directed. We all love Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. There's a lot of things. It's like it just needs to happen on the other side.
Mhm.
Yeah, it needs to be more balanced. Like we need to have more representation. When I say representation also, I do mean that like the balance needs to be more balanced. Like
We
there needs to be
we
more.
need to have better people at the top.
Yeah, that's
We need
a
to have
fucking
better people
understatement.
that say they're invested in making movies, not in Hollywood, but in making movies and
Yeah,
creating movies. We need people with money that have that attitude. Um, it seems the richer you get, the less you feel that way, but um, there's got to be some good rich dudes out there, right?
fucking we
Any
hope
rich
so.
dudes listening?
If you're a rich dude and you want to fucking not even take a chance, you're not even taking a fucking chance by,
you're gonna
you
you're
know,
gonna get a
giving
home
Elise or
run.
Heather some fucking money
Yeah.
to make a movie. You're not even taking a chance. Like it's money that will be well spent. Like
I have
that's
a
the thing.
producer that not has only worked in marketing for so long and does marketing for my own movies, but I've also like worked for distribution companies.
Yeah,
And it's like, I don't know. I don't know if like, is this gonna work? Does this have an audience? And you tell them, and there's just I was on, where was I? I was at Blood in the Snow, and I was asked to talk about sales and distribution in film fest. And at some point, Elise Solomon is the one that says I must raise my hand and talk about it. Is that you could have the greatest Rolodex, know everyone in the world, drop into Cannes, and everyone says hi to you. But when it comes to writing a check, they just don't write you a check.
Why
There's
yeah,
are they
there's not
scared?
that, yes, there's not amount of like successful movies that you've made, movies on the film fest, because filmmaking is not a meritocracy. A lot of it is about, yes, a lot of it is about money and finance, but those are like only a handful of movies that are going to bring in a huge amount of movies. It's about relationships. But if you're someone with incredibly deep and meaningful relationships for over a decade, and none of those relationships can ever find the right movie that you might have to make, knowing that it's not a meritocracy, it's like that sort of brings a lot of stuff into question. And that is
sure.
something that I brought up on the panel, and the women who worked in distribution all raised their hands and went, yes, we show the distribution people these movies, and there's no comps, because if you never make movies by women that are successful, if you never greenlight anything, you're never going to have a comp for distribution.
Right.
And so it wasn't even in my hand. I didn't even expect that. I just wanted to bring it up that like you could network, go to all the film fest, go to all the market, know all the people, be in good standing, be a good person, have a good head on your shoulder, and that just is not enough, because no one's going to sit down and go like, "Hey, I believe in you. Here's a check. You remind me of me when I was young. I'm going to write a check," because it is a relationship of relation of it's relationships first. It's like my friends are like, is that has never seen an industry where the social aspect and the friend aspect is so very close. And I know when I pitch things with people who are my friends, people I have a good relationship with, it's like I do pitch them. It's like, hey, let's hang out on set for 30 days. Let's make this together. Let's work, because when you're working a movie, you're working on it in years, and it's like you already have a vibe that like, hey, I could feel we can work on this every day. We have a shorthand. We get it. We believe in the same things. let's all go to war together. Let's get this made. And if that's not enough,
Yeah.
it's never going to be enough.
The inherent bias, and this is not something I came up with. I heard it, and I do try to repeat it um in discussions like this because I think it is just like such a perfect encapsulation, and it's like people can grab onto it and remember it. At least I hope they do, because like it stuck with me. But it was like men, the inherent bias in the industry, and especially now that like everything's contracted, is that men have potential and women are a risk. And, if it was flipped, if it was like women have potential and men are a risk, just think about like who would get development money, who would get greenlit, so it really does affect like what we get to see, um, the stories that we get to experience. And, like I keep coming back to development because I hope that, I mean, we're going to have to rebuild everything, right? Because everything's falling apart. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
you
so
mean
like,
the world?
yeah, everything. So
Yeah.
as we rebuild, we can make better, more sustainable systems where a producer like Heather is not working on like a bazillion different projects for free for 7 years,
Right.
and like there's one like one of my present day Irish folk horrors that I wrote. There's a director that I want, and I reached out to her myself, and she really likes the script, and we're gonna keep talking. I really want her to direct the script. The two people that would have the potential to finance it both were like, huh. I mean, she's made probably like 10 short films. She's directed theater. In my mind, and in I think anyone's like measure, she is working and successful. Her work is like well received. She gets chosen for some of these like special programs and things, like she's lauded, and she's like a director on the rise, and the film is under 3 million, and it's still a question about her, which blows my mind because if it was a guy who had made 10 short films and been awarded all these things and like brought into programs where they're like, only 8 people were chosen this year and blah, blah, blah. Like, if that was a guy and then the guy attached himself to a $3 million horror, like that would get financed, right?
Right. So,
So it's crazy to me.
so this is a question I'll pose to both of you then.
Yeah.
What do you think the main hurdle is, the main holdup is? What is it that's preventing somebody from a position of power financially? What is causing them to give somebody like a Curry Barker or Kane Parsons, a fucking deal for X amount of money? Whereas if you or Heather walk up and have
Well,
a similar thing,
those guys were enormously successful. I mean, like we're talking about
They're
no
scared of
risk.
women.
well,
They're
that's
no,
the
no,
reason I'm
no.
asking
Like I
because
like honestly, like that's to me that's different because they had a proven audience, and like, you know, Heather talked to me about this, and I do agree with her. Like, YouTube slants it so that and after talking to Heather, like I understand this, but like YouTube platforms
Mhm.
mostly men who are making that content. So if you're looking for someone who's successful on YouTube, most of the time those are going to be male creators. And
Okay.
like if you guys want to like make a list of like female creators on YouTube that deserve a shot like they got, that would be amazing because no one else is like going to platform these people except for people that care about helping women like us. So, but they had a built-in audience, millions and millions and millions of views. They had created content that, stood the test of time. Like it was like more and more people gravitated towards it. It didn't fizzle out. So that is a no risk situation. That's a like that we can grab that and make even more money off of it, and it has a built-in audience.
So is
So I
back
think like
rooms as well, built-in
yeah, so I
audience,
think I
even more
think like
so.
those two examples are like someone had great content, understood who their audience was, continued to make content, like was like working, constantly working, and like giving their audience things that their audience was like, "Yay, thank you. I like this." Listening to
Hmm.
their audience. And then studios were like, "Oh, okay, like well we can just, help this person make a feature." That's an easy decision. Um,
Sure.
Also,
yeah.
Obsession did not get a lot of money, and I looked at the producer. It's like the producer made a lot of, not very famous movies. He made one of my favorite movies. I'm Not a Serial Killer, but he
Oh,
only
it's a
got
great
like,
movie.
yeah, I love it. That is an underseen movie, I think, is the title. So it's like he got 750 for a movie that didn't have stars, which spoke to a certain audience. I mean, we're all there as producers begging people to go like stars don't matter, except for Nicolas Cage. That's what I tell people. If Nicolas Cage is in your movie, then stars matter. But other than that, the kids don't want to see stars. They want to see edgy, interesting stuff that's relative to themselves. They want to see new voices. And in horror movie world, once you have your one egger, horror movie fans need the next 75,000 eggers, which leaves the
Right.
ability for that egger to be any type of person down the line, because it's like, God, that was a great movie. Now I need 100 different horror movies that I need to watch. I have been on a tear because I've been flying back from Los Angeles. I watched The Bone Temple, which is crazy and I love. Girl filmmaker. I was
Yep.
watching 28 Years Later, which I watched part of, which means I have to get on another flight to watch the rest. I was watching Verhoeven's movie, like whatever, something like Don't Die. That was incredible. I was watching it and I was like, came back home and it's like, I need more zombie movies. Where are the new zombie movies? Like I'm on a zombie tear. It's like, what am I gonna have to get Netflix to watch the rest of the 28 Years Later movie? But yeah,
So
there's a need for more and more of this, and the audience wants more and more of this. I do not understand why distribution does not understand, because the film festivals platform great voices. The sales agents are able to see great stuff. It's like money comes like, is there an audience? Am I going to make money for that? So that's the distribution end. So the distribution end does not believe that these type of movies make any money. That's why Obsession was not made in the system. Backrooms was made in the sort of system, which is A24, and Markiplier made it on his own because he is a millionaire.
right. Okay, so here's a different example then that I'll bring up because this one also relates with the name being attached to like horror royalty. What do you guys think is the hesitation for somebody to give like Tina Romero money? Because when we talked to Tina about Queens of the Dead, like she was very clear about the fact that that movie was made and like nobody made any money on that movie because it was, minimum budget and all these hurdles and stuff as far as that goes. But what do you think prevents an executive from seeing somebody with that name attached to him and not writing a check for him? Is it that they're afraid of women, or is there like some other bias? Like, what do you guys think it is?
I wish that this was a call show, and I used to have a call show with my friend Miguel Rodriguez, just for people to call in. I don't know.
Oh
It's,
yeah,
it's sexism. It's sexism and misogyny. Sexism is prejudice against women. Misogyny is sort of the action against it.
sure.
They don't.
And
They
it,
don't. They don't believe that we make success. I don't know. They don't believe that we make successful things. They don't believe that there's an audience for it. They don't believe
There's a
that
whole
there's going to be a
swash
talent
of
for it.
dummies that think women aren't funny.
there's also that too, yeah,
Like it's
which is fucking
insane to
insane.
me that
Like,
like anything creative, like women can just as like it's the same. We're all equal. We all across the board in art, I think. Like what the like
anybody that ever says women aren't funny, I immediately disregard whatever the rest of their opinion is
yeah,
because I'm like,
they
you're a
just
fucking
don't like
idiot.
that's an
Like,
insane thing. Like I
it's
don't
not even
know.
a like, and not even a question. If somebody ever says that, like, oh, women don't make me laugh, I'm like, dude, fuck you. Like,
It's they've
you
only
don't watch comedy.
consumed art or any entertain anything done from white
Yeah.
dudes' perspectives. That's all they know. That's all they're comfortable with. Like I got made fun of for reading Judy Blume books and shit, and having dolls and stuff. Like because I liked girl stuff too. I didn't
Yeah.
have a sister or anything.
What are your
Like
favorite dolls? And did you have a Cabbage Patch Kid? And do you need one?
I never had a Cabbage Patch Kid. My
Don't
favorite
you feel
doll,
you need one though?
I do. Um,
You do.
I do. I would love one, yes.
Oh
But like my favorite was Snoopy and Belle, his
yeah.
girlfriend. I love those. They were stuffed animals. I had those till I was like old. I had all the Smurfs and stuff.
Yeah.
I had loved little trinkets and stuff. And I got made fun of for that. Like that's what like when kids would come over and so
Because
that's
you're being made fun of what is supposed women qualities. You're
exactly
being
Right.
you're being afraid of what is femme.
exactly
When boys play with doll babies all the time because they're action figures.
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
100%. I
It's even
started
in it's even in Spaceballs. Are you playing with your dolls, sir?
yeah,
hmm
100%.
My dad used to give me shit about that when I had wrestling figures. He was like playing with your fucking dolls. And I'm like,
100%.
Yeah.
shut up, dude. Like you have your hobbies too, dad. Fuck you. Like,
Yeah, I had a garbage bag of Smurfs. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I
and
have
one of
like
my favorite ones was Smurfette. Like, she was always involved in
I have
any
like
story.
15.
I
I
told
have like
stories. It was
I
so
would say like
anyway, but
I
yeah,
have
go
stuffed
ahead.
animals. I have like a whole shitload of plushies in my
I
room.
still do,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it is funny too because if somebody ever comes over for the first time, and like if it's somebody that I've never met before, it's like one of my roommate's friends or something like that. When they come into my room, I've got plushies of a variety of them. I've got like Beetlejuice ones. I've got like the only two that I've ever bought from like Blackcraft are like these two Siamese devil cats that fucking rule. I have like a little crocheted like, Baphomet and stuff like that. But then I also have like 1,000 Blu-rays. So like when somebody comes in, it's kind of funny to see the immediate overstimulation that happens in their brain because they're just
Oh
like,
yeah,
fuck, you have
we
so many
just
things to fuck with. Like,
our
oh my
walls are
God.
covered in either bright pink Hello Kitty stuff or horror. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
that's where I love to live, like right in there in between. Because like, and so that's why I love horror directed by women more right now, at least. Like, I think this era, they're incredibly ahead of the curve. Um, and you sent a really incredible list.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
thank you.
the amount of women filmmakers that like just on that list,
Yeah,
which I
that I
know
think
like
we
are
should at
forgotten.
least talk about a few if you want to. I don't know if you want to list.
I
It
sent the
was
list
I don't
because
know
I
how
was
many, but it
afraid
was
I
so good.
well, I sent the list because I was afraid I was gonna leave somebody off. And like I also didn't want anyone that I spoke about to think that they were more important than to me, like as a
Yeah,
storyteller than other people. I have this like thing about so like I don't know if you
it was
guys
not
want to
a
like
ranking.
okay.
No, not a ranking
It
list.
was just
No.
I just read it as favorites, and it
Yeah.
was, but like
I mean,
I reckon
a lot of them, like, started out with small indie horrors. Some of them started out working other jobs on like huge movie sets. Like some of them, were stunt performers, then became stunt directors, then became a director. And so it's people from sort of like all sides of, the industry. Um, some of them stuck to features, some of them moved into TV. But yeah, there's tons, and a lot of the names on like, there's a couple of like influential famous filmmakers that I put on the list because like I watched their movies and it helped sort of shape what I understood about female storytellers and if I wanted to emulate their style or their voice or like anything. um and then of course there's some famous people that like everyone knows. They're like, oh yeah, no duh, of course they're on the list, um and then
like
a
who are
couple.
they? Who would you consider them? No, for
Well,
real.
just like Nia DaCosta, or Catherine
Sure,
Bigelow, and yeah,
sure.
Fair.
Jennifer Kent, and
Yeah.
and then some of them are like my friends who I've been fortunate enough to like see their films at film festivals, or they've just directed their second short, or and I know who they are as a director, and I really believe in them. So I wanted to make sure that they were on the list because they're trying, like Heather and I, they're trying to get things made.
Yeah.
And if anyone is going to see their name on a list of female filmmakers, I think that helps them. So
Well,
yeah.
and I think so. I'll say this: it would be impossible for us to go through all the lists because
No,
it's a
I'll
lot of
post this
people.
on our
I was gonna
threads
say that's the
threads
thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Also, is that with like when we do
Instagram.
post about the episode and like everything like that, like these are definitely people that we're gonna name and everything. But like we've had, we've had really, really good luck with people that we've had on the show and people that we've been able to talk to, and like a lot of the
I have
people
a
that we
pretty good list if you want us to kiss our
Well,
own ass for a second.
I was gonna say, man, like I will throw one out there right from the get-go, like
Yeah.
right just up front, and that's Amy Kuge. Like,
Yep.
you know, Cannibal Mukbang is one of those movies that like the cover, the title, the idea of the
It's
movie,
one of my favorites.
all of it is a chance.
It's a
Like
romance
everything
cannibalism.
about that, yeah. And that's a movie that I look at and I say, like, that movie is a gamble on paper. So like looking at like the title, the cover, the synopsis, for anybody to read it would probably be a gamble. But the disconnect that I see, and this is also from like what you guys have been talking about here, is that people that are in charge, people that have the money, people that are the ones that are on the high fucking end of that, are just afraid to take those chances. They're
Mhm.
afraid, or because of, misogyny or like sexism or whatever like that, they just don't fucking want to. Whatever the case may be. But we have had some good luck with having some really awesome people on the show. And Graham is a list guy,
Chantal
so
Hahn
he's, as I say, he's
could
got a list.
Chantal Hahn did Peppergrass, Haley McCoy, Echo, Tina Romero, Queens of the Dead, Jennifer Wolfe, Happy Ending, Mary Dodderman, Booger, which I fucking one of my favorites, Grace
Rules.
Glowicki, Dead Lover, Izzy Lee, one of my favorite people,
Fucking love Izzy.
House
Yeah.
of Ashes, Sophia Cassiola, the Once and Future Smash, Gigi Salguero,
Yeah.
who's cooler than you.
Yeah, yeah. Which shout out Gigi to her fucking dog Nacho,
And
who's
Mary Beth, have you guys had Mary Beth
oh
on?
yeah,
Oh, she was on
a
the
few
list.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had her on a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, and so this is, and like, we're just a podcast, and like, we've had the opportunity to speak to these amazing people.
We specifically searched them out because people aren't getting to hear about these
Yeah.
movies,
Yeah.
and that's what I want to show people. That's what Jonas wants to show
Yeah.
people is
Yeah.
look, these other movies not made by white dudes are fantastic.
Hmm.
Like
And like, and it's, like Heather was talking about the box that gets, there's this imaginary box that things get put in. And like, unfortunately, it's not so imaginary. And there is that disconnect with audiences, I think, where they just are ignorant to the fact that these filmmakers exist. And I think that's what we try to do on this show is we try to put as much advocacy behind it and as much,
I don't think
as
it's
much
the
as we can.
audience. I think it's the system. I think the audience wants to see these movies, wants to see these filmmakers. Consider like I like scariest movie ever. Yeah, raise your hand for Shining, but for me it's Pet Cemetery, made
Sure.
directed by a woman. Always scared of those weirds out there. But it's yeah, is that the audience is smart enough, especially the horror audience that wants everything. Again, they want every single zombie film. I don't care if they don't even a lot of people don't care if it's good. It's just like, are there memorable scenes? Are there characters that I like? Is there a good hang movie? There's a lot of stuff. There's just a refusal from the system to fund things. And again, if we look back to Obsession and back rooms and what the people are going out to see, it's like they want something for them. They want new stories, they want new characters, they want stuff that they love, stuff that's important to them, and they're going to show up for it. You don't need to have great stars. It could be a new voice. People
Yeah.
aren't going to see like a Curry Baker movie.
Right.
They wanted to see to get that much money, that's far the amount of fans that are on his YouTube. And I apologize. I watch different things on YouTube, like politics and like silly little kawaii things, or making videos. So I'm not really looking at a lot of content creators. So I don't know like what's on his page and if there's like
Right.
sort of like a 1-to-1 ratio. I mean, when I fell in love with Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, I went to those boys' pages, and it's certainly not what those movies, which are incredible. Those are
Right.
incredible movies, but there's not a 1-to-1 ratio of their vision as filmmakers and what's on their YouTube page.
Right.
I also think like you know, we're in the United States, like in a even more like difficult terrain to like
100%.
walk through, because if you're European, like, or Canadian, or, from Ireland or whatever, like the government funds development
Yeah.
and they also fund like short film programs. Like, so if you're, someone who's just starting out and you need, $20,000 or like $15,000 to make a short film, you can apply to the government for that money and make your short, and see if you're a good director, and see if the short you made gathers an audience together that wants to lift you up and applaud you and see a feature from you. Um, and it's just like we don't have that system here, in America. So, yeah, like,
We hate the arts here.
yeah.
It's
So,
unfortunate.
but I
US
have
is kind of
hope,
like
like,
that.
again, I have hope, like, if we're gonna rebuild, we can totally build a better system where, because the other thing is like when you're applying for government funding in other countries, there's also like more mentorship opportunities. So they have programs for people like as early as you can think of who are like, I want to light, and it's like, come on, like, come buy this film set, and like, here's an internship for you. And here's a mentor that will like follow your progress for 2 years that you can check in with and talk to. Um, and so we just don't have that kind of ecosystem here that it does really honor it as a craft, not like a gamble. It's not like a we're gonna shoot our shot with this one thing. It's like I'm building a career, so I need development, and I want to work with other people that are committed to this as a career. And so that's like a totally different ecosystem than here, where it's like maybe I'll give you
Right.
$1 million, and that's maybe the only movie you're ever going to make. It just doesn't
Right.
feel that way when you have the government supporting it as an industry and it's an actual job that you get paid to do.
Right. Yeah, and it's another
And
thing.
with AI being brought in to,
Ugh.
especially A24, A24,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a real
that
fucking
shit
bummer.
is,
That was a real bummer with that one, with them doing the whole AI thing. But
it,
like
Yeah.
I saw a real world example of kind of how different it is for guys as far as like trying to find financing and etc. And it was because my friend Aaron, my Aaron's awesome. Aaron Bennett, he was the director of the Joker's Wild short that had David Howard Thornton playing the Joker. Like he's a good dude. He's a fucking like, and Heather, you've met him. He's good people. And he was talking to me about something because Aaron is kind of aloof sometimes, and like he won't pick up on like kind of what's going on around him just because he's very shy, at times and stuff like that. And he was at a table with a bunch of people at some film thing that he went to, and they were giving him questions that were very clearly saying like, we have money that we could give you to make a thing, and he just wasn't picking up on it. And he told me, I was like, motherfucker, that was like six dudes that were just like, I can give you like $150,000 right now if my ROI on it is good, like that type of thing. And I'm just like, they were literally like putting money in your lap and just being like, you think this thing can make more than this? Yeah, fuck it, let's give it a shot. I don't see that
I
happening
have
if Aaron
never,
is.
ever, ever, ever been on a call like that. I have never been given that opportunity. I know
That's my,
so many
yeah,
of my male friends. I know you're getting at. I have so many male friends who have given that opportunity
yeah, it's crazy.
because I believe in you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then in my experience, like, Heather was actually like one of a handful of people who has changed my life because they offered to help me. I didn't I met her. I wanted to meet her. We were like clued into each other from a mutual friend. And they were like, Heather's going to be at this film festival. You need to meet her. Um, and I was hoping that it would turn into like some sort of professional relationship, but I really didn't know what to even ask her. Like I was at the film festival with someone who used to be on board one of my projects as a producer and fell off. So like I had a producer with me at the time. So I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to talk to her about, but she likes punk rock and she has Whitehawk and she's cool. And she sat down and she was like, what's your favorite psychobilly band? And I was all, oh, the Meteors. And she's like,
Nice.
yeah, okay. And then, we became friends. But she believed in me and offered to help me before I even asked for her help. So like that's unusual. And I do think that if there were more,
Heather's
and
kind of one in a million.
it is one
There
in a million.
needs to
And
be
I've
more
been like,
Heathers.
yeah, and there's a guy in my life who did the same thing, like offered to help before I even asked, total life changing. You know what I mean? Um, we can absolutely change each other's lives if we just offer to help, so I do try to pay it forward. Like I'm like, well, whenever someone has something going on and I see them post about it, and it's like, oh, a little win or a big win, I always like reshare it or retweet it or do
Sure.
something. So because I'm like, it's a lot of it is about visibility and seeing that other people believe in this person. Um, but yeah, like it's rare. It's rare. And we're all struggling right now. So it isn't just the industry. And it's like it's really tough right now. So the more we can just say, like, I don't know if I can do anything, but if you can think of a way that I can be helpful, please let me know. Like that could be huge because someone might just be like, yeah, can you post this for me? Or like, I don't know, do you have a recommendation for a sound mixer, or you know what I mean? Like, or actually need someone to do wardrobe for me just for Saturday and Sunday. Can you do it? Like, yeah.
Sure.
And it can change someone's life. Like it could be the difference between them shooting that weekend or not, So um yeah, we got to help each other.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And like I think going back to what one of the things that Heather said is like the audience is there. Like it definitely is there. Like people will come out to see these things. Like I remember when I went to South by Southwest, I was bummed that I couldn't get into Fuck Toys because it was like sold out
Sold out.
like
Yeah.
multiple times. And I was like, "Oh fuck, like this is awesome." Like seeing something like that happen. And I think that also, like, from me being on the parts of the internet that I'm on, which the majority of my internet, like, usage now is either comedy or horror film related, and a lot of them are in, like, horror groups and stuff like that. And I do see that the audience is definitely there for to fill the seats if the movie can get made. So, what do you guys think is like the biggest hurdle on this? Like, what is it that you think has to change in order for
I
this to start shifting a little bit?
think you gotta break that fucking boys club from the top. Like, there's a boys
It's
club at
hard.
the
It's
top
hard for me
that
to like,
keeps moving the goalpost, it feels like.
Yeah,
Like
well, it's
every time
hard
there's a
for
successful woman, they'll make an excuse why she doesn't get the next movie or something.
That's right, because Barbie was successful because of the IP, not because of the director. She wasn't even
Yeah, I
nominated.
mean, it's hard, honestly, hard for me to not talk about like the state that the industry is in as a whole. Like it was always risk adverse because it's a business.
Sure,
The more it has contracted and the more trouble people are in financially in this country, the less risk people are willing to take. So
sure,
the recent box office successes all being original ideas and things that were supposedly like safe from risk. like not doing as well as they thought, or in some cases even like quote unquote flopping, like that has helped with the discussion we're having right now because it's like, yeah, everything's falling apart. None of the old rules apply anymore. So taking a risk on um a female filmmaker or an original story might actually be the smartest thing you could do. The problem is that it requires people to have taste
Yeah.
and an opinion. And I think people are still afraid to have an opinion. So,
Oh,
yeah.
they do when it's not a woman. Wait, there's so much great cinema that has been created and still is created to this day.
Well,
And in the
people like
United States,
the best stories are when people champion things, like sometimes I mean I've been, reading scripts like I was an assistant at two different studios. Like that's how I got started in the industry. I've been reading scripts for like 25 years. Like and I always like love reading screenplays because I'm like learning all the time. As styles change and all that stuff. Um, Even for films that were made, like when I'm like, oh, what draft is this? Like what version of the script am I reading? And like whatever. Rarely have I ever read something where I'm like, yeah, totally. I can see why this was like fast tracked or like, wow, they developed the shit out of this and it got so good. And like, I mean, yeah, there are examples like that, but rarely, like the majority of what you read, like it isn't obvious. Like it's a producer and the whole team, the director, the cast, like the writer rewriting on set. Like it's that makes the movie whatever it is. And so it is a group of artists committed to a vision that makes a film successful. So you can't just read something on the page and be like, this is a hit. I mean, like maybe some producers can do that. I don't
I
know.
can do that.
I feel like
That's
you
why
could,
I make
Heather.
it. Is
Yeah.
because I just
Yeah.
go, this is gonna make money. This makes sense, but only because I watched the marketplace.
Yeah.
Like you can
Well, and
tell if
that's the
something
thing
has an
is like
audience or
like
not.
like Heather does have taste. She has an opinion and she sees very clearly what the potential of the thing is and the audience and how to market it and everything. That's not to say that like the scripts that she likes of mine that I haven't had to go through a development process. Like I have a writers group and they give me notes on things and it takes years.
Sure.
Like, so if she read a script 4 years ago, it's different now because it was developed, with notes from a bunch of people that I trust. And it's still the thing she can sell. She still knows this is what it is, this is the audience, this is how it should be marketed, um, and all that stuff. But it is definitely like a collaborative process. And if people understand that they need to like find their team, it's like it's always the first person that's the most scared and is risking the most by putting um, their reputation or their career forward by saying, I'm championing this. That is always that first person that does it is like a hero every time. So I wish there were more heroes for women. Because once the first person says it, then more people are like, okay, I'll read it, and then they're like, oh, I see what you see in it. And then, okay, well, who could we get to direct this? Okay, well, like, let's make a cast list. Who could trigger financing? That's when the actual vision, comes to life and it becomes a movie. Before that, it's literally just a dream that needs a champion. And Heather's my champion. For a lot of like, for a lot of women also.
Yeah.
And also in my slate, and I do have movies by guys, it is people want to make the movie as like Larry Fessenden would say, the chick flicks. Is that they
Yeah.
Right.
want to make the movies with women writer directors. And by
Yeah.
the way, I'm not always like women writer directors. These people are trans and queer. I say like I have the goods. These are awesome people to work with, to collaborate with, to make stuff with. These are the people that like I believe in this sort of aesthetic. I understand this aesthetic. I could put a team around this kind of aesthetic and this kind of story. I know where it is out in the world. I wrote for Dread Central and Fangoria. I mean, you don't see someone like me. It's like, oh my God, hey, you don't see any women that were like, I was a journalist. I wrote for these people. I'm a female executive from the nerd writing world. You don't see any of us ascend. You
Mhm.
don't see any of that taken seriously because it's yeah, like I wrote for Dread Central and Fangoria. I have a marketing background, and my day job is I work for distribution companies.
That's, I mean, you're I think the perfect person to see what would work.
Yeah, or like just
Yeah, a
give me the
thousand
benefit
percent.
of the doubt that I might have an idea what would work.
Yeah.
And it's not my opinion. It's what I see in the world. Is when I post my like when I talk about movies. Like I was recently posting about the movies I was watching on the plane, and there's great feedback from people and on all the social media. And I'm myself a fan. We're all fans. We're all people that watch the box office because there's no use spending in this system with the short time we have in the world, spending all this time on a movie no one's gonna see. So
Mhm.
I'm also not
Yeah.
spending my money in years on movies that I don't believe that are going to have some sort of audience, some sort of effect in the world that is easily seen and marketed. And
Yeah,
there's
like it
lesser
would be
projects that have moved out into the world and got made.
it would be amazing if someone with money would look at Heather's slate and give her development money.
Take a
Yeah.
Because
risk.
you know,
Which
uh
is not even a risk, and that's the other thing
yeah.
about it is like that's like it's not even a risk for these people. Like if they looked at Heather's slate of
It's
films,
loaded dice.
yeah, dude, it's like it's not even a fucking gamble.
I
And I
know.
think that's what a lot of the people that are in power, the executives and the people that have money and shit like that, they need to get that through their head. Because like when you look at horror as a genre, the amount of Nia DaCostas that are out there is so fucking low. And I use Nia DaCosta as an example because Nia's doing movies that are like, like quote
Yeah,
unquote Hollywood level, like
right.
studio films and
Studio.
shit.
Yeah.
And for every one Nia DaCosta, there's 100 dude filmmakers that are getting the opportunities to make these movies. And I know that, like, obviously, it's not just a thing like you have to have a woman doing this or you have to have that perspective or this, that, or the other thing as far as that goes. But just the opportunities feel like they're just not there
People
for
love
women.
Bone Temple more. That's why I watched it before I watched 28 Years Later.
It's
Because
a
that was the
dope
one
fucking movie.
everybody was talking to. There's a whole heavy metal dance sequence in the movie.
It's
No, it was
amazing
really
too.
good. I liked both of them a lot.
Mm,
I liked the
that
second
dance
one
sequence
more.
fucking
Like,
rules. It
yeah,
really
I
it
think
does.
it
was.
makes sense you watch Bone Temple first and then you watch 28 Years Later because it's like I was able to like be up to date with the lore
Mhm.
watching 28 Years Later.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I use her as an example because like she's somebody who has had commercial success. Like she's done a fucking Marvel movie, on top of that. But then you also have like, the Jen Wexlers and the Jennifer Reeders and like these, people that are not making like, huge Hollywood movies, but fuck, the movies that they're putting out are phenomenal,
How did The Bride do?
The
Oh,
Bride was awesome, but it got so fucking review bombed. Like
Really?
yeah, it got review bombed like a motherfucker. And it got review bombed before it was out for like 2 days. That was a kind of a weird thing. Like, not even weird. Unfortunately, it was something that I had seen before, where you get a bunch of people that are usually like fucking Reddit trolls and shit, and they come on and they review bomb it. They review bomb it to get to make the reviews look like they're lower than they should be. But then if you sit down and watch the movie, it's creative, it's a gamble, it's part possession story, part Frankenstein story. There's like characters flipped. Like it's an awesome punk as fuck take on the Frankenstein property. And I think that with that one, if it hadn't got review bombed, I think it would have been so much more well received. You know, like on streaming and stuff, people have started to fall back in love with it
Yeah.
or
No,
fall in love with it again.
I just have no idea how well it did.
It didn't do very good. It flopped. Flopped, quote unquote. But also it was Maggie Gyllenhaal's movie 100% in her vision though. Like she made that movie like with her whole chest. You know what I mean? And I think that one is kind of an interesting one too, because Maggie Gyllenhaal is not exactly, like a first time director or a first like somebody that's just coming in out of nowhere. Like that is a name, she has a name attached to it. And I think like I think that's the question is what is it that needs to change that pushes the Jen Wexlers and pushes the Jennifer Reeders like into that higher like tier to where people won't be worried about giving them money, where they won't be worried about giving development funding, or taking a quote unquote risk or a chance on some of these awesome properties. Is it that we need to be more vocal about it like we are now? Is
Mhm.
it that these types of things need to be brought up in conversation more? Like, what is it that, we can do to try to help push that, into the
Yeah,
line a little bit
yes,
more?
yes, and yes. And I'll add, and this is not a dig on the conversation that we're having
No,
presently. I mean, going forward, when we're talking about female filmmakers, we need to talk about, like you just did for The Bride, we need to talk about the craft and not the fact that they're a woman. So a lot of the discussions about female filmmakers are like, this is a female filmmaker. She is a female. And
right,
and it's like we need to talk about them as directors, their voice, methods that they chose to use, like um things where we can sort of see their hand in the storytelling, um and then like the process as art instead of this is a woman that we're talking about.
right,
So like a lot of these discussions, I think the thing that is a disservice is that maybe we'll platform someone by name because we're talking about female filmmakers, but will the audience remember what their style is? Like what kind of director they are, what kind of stories they like to tell? Will they think of them the next time a script comes across their desk if they're listening to this and be like, "Oh, you know what? This person's perfect for it because they go for stories like this." Like I don't know. So I think if we talk about their directing more, um, that will help. Yes. And definitely like the more that we have these talks and stuff, the more their names are mentioned, the more their films are mentioned. Absolutely. I mean, Jen Wexler just directed another movie, and so maybe this will be, the film that, more people will get to know her as a director and think of her the next time a script comes across their desk that they need a director for.
Premiering at Fantasia Film Festival.
Yeah.
indeed. That's that one is The Last Temptation of Becky, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
And I see
which
Jen on the set all the time. She's a masterful filmmaker.
Yeah.
These
yeah,
people are masterful. They're great. It's just
I'm
if you're
complete.
good,
I love her style,
if you're
honestly.
good,
Straight
if you're
up.
good, write a check.
Sense.
That's it.
Yeah, but
I feel
We
yeah,
don't
it's what
even
we
want
need.
special girl treatment. We don't need to
Just
be
write a
handed with
fucking
girly
check.
gloves.
if
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're gonna tell
I've
me the
always said
person
that. Say it
that
with cash, write a check, daddy, open your checkbook, and show us how big and strong you are by writing a check.
And let's make a fucking
Platform
movie.
yeah. That's and also make some money.
Yeah,
Yeah, the world gets excited when you break new talent and have new stars.
Mm.
And stop it and just from industry perspective in general, stop being obsessed with star power and put the people in the movie that people want to watch that are best for the part. We keep saying
I
this over and
know.
over again. My friend who's a European sales agent, Marcus, was when it comes for horror, he doesn't sell anything with stars. It's just the concept of the movie and the vibe. And he doesn't understand why the United States is obsessed with stars. I assume because it's laziness when it comes to marketing.
I mean, I think there's actually some truth to that. And like I've talked to Aaron about this, which is interesting because same one I brought up before, Aaron Bennett. We've had conversations about the opposite of stars in the sense that like sometimes a person can get attached to a movie and it turns out their box office cancer, you know? And it's just like, oh, they're not going to give you any fucking money if so and so is attached to it. Like that person is not going to get money, like that type of thing.
Like and just to let like organically let something be what it is, right? Because like there are movie stars that I love that if I saw that they were in a movie, I would be like, "Oh, I got to see that because so and so's in that movie." That does not apply 100% of the time. To be honest with you, it doesn't even apply 50% of the time. Like half the time, I'm like, "Ooh, what's this movie about?" And then I'll watch the movie and be blown away by some new actor on the rise. Like and I'm someone who really enjoys when I get to discover like new talent that's breaking out. Like maybe I'm not the first person that ever saw them in anything, and maybe that's why they got cast in something, but they're not a household name and they're new to me, you know? And
Well,
I
Sure.
don't want to see the same 30 faces over and over and over again for 10 years. Like I just don't. So I love breakout performances. And I love when a movie is cast because the person was right for the role and then the rest of the cast around them has chemistry. Like that means the movie's going to be better. So I would rather that that film get made with that cast rather than you think I need to see this actress one more time. You
what's
know?
Right.
what's the most recent one that's surprised you? What's the most recent breakout?
I love seeing Jack O'Connell around.
It's kind of wild that Jack O'Connell was the main fucking asshole kid in Eden Lake, and now
Yeah,
he's doing shit with, like Bone Temple and Sinners and everything like that.
I do love him. And I think he's so versatile and most people probably haven't watched everything he's been in, and he's like, he can do everything, you know?
Kyle,
Mhm.
Elise, our beloved Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle Gallner,
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Him.
fucking A right.
We want to see him in
Everyone knows
everything.
Kyle.
Everyone, we love
Yeah.
him. Heartthrob, amazing, amazing
Yes.
person. He
Yeah.
was just in my friend's film, Carolina, Carolina. I love Kyle too.
That
Yeah.
And
movie was so fucking good. That movie was fun. Like it
yeah,
was legit fun.
I've heard
Yeah.
Kyle and
really good
Samara
things.
Weaving. I love seeing Samara and stuff ever since Guns Akimbo with her crazy fucking performance. I love seeing her around.
Yeah,
She was crazy in Mayhem too. That was another one she was nuts in. She's kind of like one of those ones that can't miss right now, because like this is a side thing, but it was weird as fuck to me when I watched Borderline and people were like, "Well, there's too many funny parts in this, or it's not a horror enough," and I was like, you could tell from the jump that this was going to be a comedy.
Mhm.
Like that it was going to be a darker comedy.
Yeah.
And then when I like watched the whole thing, I'm like, no, they pretty much hit their parts perfectly on that. Like that was exactly what that movie was marketed as and what that movie was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But she, as always, Samara Weaving, even when she doesn't speak a fucking word, like in that movie Azrael, which is a great movie, yeah,
love
even that
that
she slayed
movie.
it. Yeah, she slays it in that too. She's dope.
One of the most
Actor.
recent
Yeah.
ones that I've seen actor-wise is Grace Glowicki, who I think
Mm.
did one of the best performances in Booger that
Mhm.
of the year. I thought she was
I have to see
incredible.
that. Okay.
Booger is
It's great.
so good. It was directed by Mary Dotterman. We had her on actually. But Grace Glowicki blew me away, and she
Mm.
just directed something. She was in Honey Bunch. I don't know if you saw Honey Bunch. Honey Bunch is also fantastic. I just think Grace Glowicki is like the next. She did
It's
something.
fantastic. Yeah.
She directed something a movie called Dead Lover, which I can't find, but
Dead Lover rules.
you
It
saw it.
was
Yeah,
yeah,
Like it's not available in the US, you mean, for streaming or?
yeah.
it
Oh.
was on festival circuits and I think it's coming out on like US streaming here relatively soon, like within the next few months. And for all the discourse around Obsession, like Indy Navarrete, her
Mhm.
performance was fucking fantastic. Like regardless of what anybody thinks about the movie itself, which I liked it, but like, that movie really did get a whole lot of free hand jobs before it came out. Like there was a lot of people that were jerking that movie off. But her specific performance was fantastic. Like
Yeah.
that's a breakout performance for sure. Lauren Lavera continues to fucking kill it. And, you know, hot take, she's probably like one of only two good things that has come out of that franchise now. But
Well, her and
she
David, yeah.
exactly. That's
All right.
that's what I'm saying. Just those two. Like, and then Elliot, like Elliot rules too, but like he wasn't really even in the last one. He was just there for a little bit. But Lauren Lavera, everything that she's done so far has been awesome. Like she even I won't name drop the movies specifically, but she was in a shitty movie. A really shitty movie, and she did really good. Like it was one of those things where it was like every time she was on screen, she was the main character, but every time she was on screen, fucking just ate the entire scene up, which is great, you know? So seeing those breakout things are better. You know, it's getting a lot like I do think the visibility of movies is getting a lot better, especially like with independent films and stuff. Because like all the different people that we talk to as far as like PR reps and stuff like that, we get them from a lot of different places. But I do have to say that IFC has continued to pump out just some great stuff
Yeah.
you know, that they've put themselves behind. And I would love to see them be one of those studios that
I
comes in and starts giving
know.
y'all more money, you know?
Oh my God, I love IFC so much. That's like committed to the arts. You know what I mean? Like they actually care. And it feels like the old indie landscape still with them. It still feels like when I see the IFC logo that I'm going to see something
Like,
unique.
yes, all right,
Yeah.
cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I know.
I was that way. I used to get that way with Blumhouse when Blumhouse was like still Blumhouse and not Blumhouse Universal or whatever the fuck studio owns them now. But like when they first came out, I would see the Blumhouse logo. I'd be like, fuck yeah. And now I'm kind of like, all right. Like I'm just like, let's fucking hope this is a 50-50 at least, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I've been
we
an
could,
A24, A24 fan for so long. I know I keep trying to
it's
jam this
just,
in there, but
no, it just, that
like
one's
I've been really angry about it lately.
A lot of people are. A lot of people are.
Like
And
it's
it's
like
because
it feels so
it's a
off.
betrayal. It's a
It's the
betrayal.
biggest
very much a
betrayal.
betrayal.
Yeah. Because, it's one thing to have a brand. Like Blumhouse's brand was not, it was like splashy, and it was not rooted in um like fuck the system, and we're going to
Right.
do this ourselves. So like when you build a brand based on we care and we're going to give you the thing that you want, and then you grow into something that is like not about what people want anymore, then you've rebranded yourself.
Right.
So that's what just happened. And I feel sad about it. They still don't seem to understand, why so many of their fans feel betrayed. And it really is because they were like committed to artists and being like a champion of the arts and the
Yeah,
craft
that's
and all
always
that
what
stuff.
I
Yeah, so
respected
it's
about them.
it's it's like
They
it's
did
like
a
a guy
lot.
saying that, yeah, it's like a guy being like, "Oh, I'm safe," and then offering you a ride home and then like doing something really scary.
Yeah,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's no,
Halfway home, like, why is your hand on my thigh? What the
Yeah.
fuck are you doing? Like,
It's the worst.
and I think people
Yeah.
should call out Scott Bletsky or whatever, the partner they have, the AI. He's the champion of AI,
oh, the
and
one that's
like
just like gung ho
real
about the AI thing.
fuck yeah, and not a great background,
Well,
not great bedfellows, and
yeah.
and
We just have to keep speaking out about it and being
I
like,
think so,
you
and
know,
Scott.
we're telling stories. We're human beings. We're telling each other stories. The whole reason to tell a story is to invite somebody in to your experience or to share your experience with them. And it's supposed to build empathy. Like storytelling is meant to build empathy, even for the edgelord, like horror that you and Heather watch that I don't watch, but like even those stories, they're storytelling, like as part of the human condition, is meant to connect us. And if something is getting in the way and severing the connection because it's not human to human anymore, then it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like don't get into that's our thing. Human
Yeah,
beings tell
don't fuck with
stories.
our thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like even when you look at a movie that like you don't have to have dialogue to tell a story. You don't have to have like flashy visuals to tell a story. You don't like there's so many things that so many avenues that you can go down to tell a rich story.
Mhm.
And I definitely do feel like sometimes you do have to take a chance on those things, but then sometimes it's just a labor of love, like, Phil Tippett with Mad God.
Yeah.
Mad God is one of the most beautiful, like brutal, just fucking brutal movies. And there is not one word of dialogue spoken, and it's all stop motion,
Yeah.
And you can look at that movie, and by the end of it, like it's told an entire story. It
Yeah.
has affected you in emotional ways and stuff like that. But there's like, again, no words, nothing super
I even,
flashy.
yeah, I even think
Skinnamarink.
about like the experience that they had making the film. Like if you're relying on something not human to create something that otherwise human beings would have done, all of those hours together, all of those materials changing hands, and all of the conversations, and all of the, Diet Cokes and the coffees and everything is gone. That is
Yeah,
gone.
That
So,
was my favorite part of college, honestly. It was
yeah,
going to bars with my friend and just writing out scripts for a television
yes,
show we never
yes,
produced. But it was
yeah,
like I still remember.
the
And
process of it was
yeah,
fun. Yeah,
and it brought us so close. Like
yes. That's
and
how Heather and I became such good friends, is like
yeah,
her process. She was like, "This is my process. What is your process? I am interested." Like there was an actual like, "Who are you when we're making this art?"
sure.
And like and then making a pitch deck with Heather is like a very detailed process. She cares so much and she's doing it herself. Like, so it's like, where's the text going to go? Instead of using this image, can we use this image? Let me reshape this. Like, like it's like we're having all these discussions. If I just had some program like spit out like a 10-page pitch deck for me, gross. You know what I mean?
Ick.
yeah.
Also, all gross. Also, I never would have gotten to know Heather the way that I did. She never would have gotten to know me the way she did as friends, as, storytellers. So it isn't just that you're cutting people out of jobs. It isn't just that you're making something that feels off. It's soulless. We can tell. We can tell. I know we can.
Hmm.
Collaboration is so rad.
Yeah, it's everything
It's
before
why being
that.
in a band rules.
Yeah, it's surviving the process and like learning things from each other and compromising, getting into fights and finding solutions for things. And like all of that is gone when
Yeah,
you're not having humans work together as humans.
Yeah.
And
it's very
and
true.
it's like we're already feeling it. Can you imagine 10 years from now if we don't stop this? Like where we're going to be as humans?
I got kicked out of a Tubi group
So
because
boring.
dude, I got kicked out of a Tubi group, and it was because the person posted something that was very clearly like AI slop, and I all I commented was, so we're just dropping AI slop in this group now. Turns out it was one of the moderators who makes actual like AI horror shit, and I looked at their profile, and I was like, ugh, like
Yeah.
this is awful. Like
Was it
Something has
Tickles the
so
Clown?
it was not Tickles the Clown. I still haven't watched that, and I don't know if I'm going to now, but I probably will because
no,
I've
so
watched
something has
shittier
happened
movies.
on my LinkedIn where I think like I got put on a list or something. So like every night there's like three people trying to like connect with me on LinkedIn that have like blah 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 AI in their bio. And
You're
I'm
like,
like,
no,
go away, please
yeah,
leave me alone.
get away, flies.
Yeah.
Um, so here's the thing: we could talk to you guys about this for literally like hours and
Oh
hours.
yeah, I guess we're off topic kind of.
No, I'm just saying like we could talk about all this stuff for a long time, and I don't want to keep you guys like, for a
Yeah.
super long time. But you guys can definitely come back like ASAP, and we can continue
Whenever
this
you want.
conversation because
Thank
this
you.
is definitely a part two and probably a part three and part four to all this. Like this is a conversation that demands to be spoken about.
Yeah.
But I don't want to keep you
I
guys
feel
on
like
too.
what would be really great is if there was like an opportunity for people who do know about creators on YouTube that deserve some attention um as well, like that have the same potential and they just haven't gotten the little bump that they need
Definitely.
or something.
There
Yeah.
is one that I will shout out,
Yeah.
because I follow her channel and I've talked to her quite a few times and she's dope. Her name is Kylie Roseanne, but she goes by Haunted Hippie. And
Okay.
she's great, and she actually is a filmmaker herself too. She's making shorts right now. She's already made one, at least one, and I know she's in the process of like finishing a second one. But it's kind of funny because like, she's still like in her 20s. She just turned 29, which is like, don't worry, I'm not putting her shit out like on blast. Like she's made whole videos about it. But like she comes from the perspective of somebody who loves a lot of stuff that was made before she was even born. And she also likes a lot of the modern stuff too. But the way that she presents stuff is very approachable. It's very approachable to like that audience too. But also like she's unapologetic about the stuff that she talks about too. Like she has zero fear
She
as
has
far
an
as blow.
opinion.
Yeah, zero
Yeah.
fear of any blowback
Yeah.
whatsoever. She's just like, fuck this thing. This is awesome. Let's talk about this. This is trash. Like, it's refreshing for her to
Yeah.
just be like, with her whole fucking chest. She's like, nope, this is trash. This is good. Do this. Don't do that. Like, yeah, she's
Okay.
one that definitely,
I'll go follow her. Yeah.
yeah, she's great. She's fantastic. We have talked about a lot here today. Do we have any recommendation stuff? Graham?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, okay. Yeah,
Because
I
we're
could.
not doing the kill list because the kill list
No,
is already, yeah, and like, or the Dawn of the Dead list,
yeah,
because that's already happened before. So
we can. Let's see real quick. Um,
while you do that, I'll put out my physical media one.
yeah, do that.
Um, my physical media one is Blink Twice
So good.
because it's a great movie. It's fucking directed by Zoe Kravitz, which I think shocked a lot of people. But that movie is really one that I think is a very cool cerebral take on kind of like what a rape revenge movie would be technically, because the way that this movie like wraps up puts a whole new twist on that idea. And the movie itself is just, it's very well made. And like you could tell that Zoe like truly gave a fuck about the way she was making this movie. So yeah, that's my physical media recommendation
It's
because I really think it's great.
incredible.
It really is
It
a good movie.
yes.
And also Channing Tatum, by the way, that fucking dude actually rules. Like
I know.
he
I
I've
really
always
does.
know.
kind of like Channing Tatum. I don't
Yes.
trust a lot of Hollywood anybody, but I've always kind of had a thing for Channing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of rules.
He's very
Music wise, Extinction AD has a new song that just dropped and it rules. It came out like I think just a couple days ago. It might have been on the last Thursday drop, Graham. But it's yeah,
Which
it's very
who?
Extinction AD. They have a new song.
I'm waiting for the full album.
Yeah, every song that they've dropped off of for the singles so far have been awesome. And then streaming recommendations, I actually don't have a lot right now because this is not a flex, but it's because I've been watching like screeners and stuff, because it's festival season. So I haven't had to get into watch like a whole lot of like for real streaming stuff. So I don't have anything on that end.
yeah.
Graham, what do you have?
Yeah. I just heard about this. I don't even know where I haven't seen it and I don't know where you can watch it, but I heard about it. It's coming out. It's called Black Zombie. It's by Maya Annick Bedward, and it's a documentary on the connection between
Yes.
zombie movies and Haitian voodoo and stuff. And that interests the fuck out of me.
You
So,
know what? I think I met Maya in Vermont at a Story
really,
Labs. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I've been
that's where I'm
wondering what
from.
happened to this project. It's streaming right now?
I don't know. I was looking for it.
Oh
Here,
God, it's so like from what I saw at the early stages, I was like, "Oh my God, I have to see this when it's done." So
yeah.
I can't
No,
wait
I
to see
think
it.
you may be able to rent it on Prime. I don't have
Okay.
that on my app, but it's called Black Zombie. I really fucking want to see
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
And I'm
I'll have to
excited
write to
about
her.
that.
That's so cool. Okay.
Uh, uh, Ada Rook. It's like this is music. It's like psychotic pop. Like I don't know how. It's the new album is called Come Songs. It's very good. It's very punk rock. Total Meltdown, who's from New York, it's NYHC. It's just awesome hardcore. Uh, they I booked them once for I think I may have booked their first show in
Oh, at the Nest.
ever at the Nest. And those are homies, and they just dropped an EP called EP2, and it's so fucking good. Um, and then there was one other the new No Cure album really is awesome. And I like the new Show Me to the Body a lot too. There you go.
Nice. Also, Elise, specifically a recommendation for you music wise, since you're like psychobilly and rockabilly.
Yeah.
Check out Spirit World if you haven't heard them before. We've had them on the show before. We had the lead singer, Stu Folsom, on the show, and they're a little bit of psychobilly, a little bit of hardcore, a little bit of metal. They dress the part of psychobilly very much, and like their music genre they created is called death western. So like it rules. Like, and I have a feeling you'll
That's
probably
pretty
like it a lot.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Heather, what do you got?
Uh, I mean, go see Fuck Toys if it plays in a theater near you, since it's traveling all over the United States for the summer and sneak previews.
Fuck yeah.
And I mean, I'm always knee deep in my producing work. So my recommendation is Fuck Toys,
Yeah, my asthma.
give 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 women money, and I think that the Vrookers are gonna go on tour, and I may go check them out. The end.
Yeah. And then did you say Can't Miasma?
Hmm.
Yeah, I that movie rules so fucking hard. Like it rules so hard. And just to manifest this and put it out in the universe, when I was talking to the PR person for it, like we're in the loop for like press junk and stuff. But one of the people that's on the press junkets is Gillian Anderson. And yo, Gillian Anderson is like a tip
She's
top
punk rock.
bucket. She's like tip top bucket list guest. If we get the chance to interview her, I'm gonna be so fucking stoked. Everything she touches is gold.
Yeah.
And holy shit, is she good in Camp Miasma.
I want to
So,
see the shit out of that.
oh dude, you're gonna love that fucking movie. Like
Yeah.
it rules. Elise, what do you got to recommend?
I mean, don't be mad, but like honestly haven't seen anything except for Widow's Bay in a long time because I've been so busy.
That's okay.
Um, so I haven't really watched anything or listened to music or done anything.
This is okay. This is totally okay. In fact,
But yeah, I mean, like obviously obsessed with Widow's Bay. Obviously.
Widow's Bay does rule. Like
Yeah.
it does rule. And also you don't have to recommend anything that's like current. Like what's some of your favorite shit that people could listen to or watch?
Ooh.
Have you listened to the new Social Distortion?
Just one song and it was very good. And yeah, I mean like those guys are my heroes.
Social Distortion rules for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Um,
Got a second on the Widow's Bay. I saw a little bump of it, loved it. But I talking about OG stuff, like I finished with my friend watching Search Party.
Oh
oh
shit.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that
Brilliant.
was very good.
Yes, I'm always 100 years behind a series, but that was amazing. Every episode was fucking crazy.
Oh, I know. Undertone. I
Oh,
saw that.
okay.
It was really good.
So here's the funny thing about Undertone for me. I watched it the first time and I didn't like it, but then I watched it a second time with headphones on and I liked it a lot more.
Like
Like the amount
I
of shit
was
that was hidden in
so
the sound was
scared.
like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I was like probably 5 times during the movie. I was like, I'm gonna have to make this lower.
yeah. It was
Oh,
weird. when I watched it I saw it in a theater, but I didn't see it in like Dolby or anything like that. So I think I kind of fucked myself on that one. But when I watched it for the second time, and I watched it with the headphones on, like it just pulled out so many different like little things about it that were just, yeah, it was
I
super cool.
really, really love Touch Me.
Oh
Watch Touch Me.
Yeah.
yeah, Touch Me does
It,
fucking roll.
I saw them in the circuit. Hilarious.
Yeah,
Lots of heads
it was
explosions, right? Lots of
yeah,
head
a
explosions.
whole bunch. Yeah, a
it's
whole bunch of
I
those.
really, really enjoyed that movie. It
Yeah,
My
it was
surprised the
super
hell
my
out of
fun.
me.
one of my friends, John Humber's one of the producers on that. Um, yeah,
Oh
it's
fuck
He's
really
an
yeah.
good.
amazing
Yeah.
man. He is a tall man. I want you to know.
Yeah,
He is a
yeah.
tall man. Not the tall man. He's not the tall man, but yeah. But he's fuck, I don't know. Maybe he is the
Yeah.
tall man.
Sorry, I had to move my computer and plug in because I'm losing battery.
That's okay. We're gonna be wrapping up pretty much right now anyway, so you're okay.
Yeah.
So any other recommendations or anything, Elise? Or is that all for you?
Oh my, I mean, like I'm really bad when I have to think on the spot about things,
That's totally
but
okay.
I could probably email you some stuff later.
We could even throw that on there. Actually, people have been requesting that we put our recommendations like in in like a something,
Yeah,
and we can, yeah, like, so we can totally do that.
yeah.
Outside of that, Graham, do you have the Coven of the Goddamned, or whatever we're calling them this week?
No, it's the Coven still.
Yeah.
You convinced me. Um, we got Michael, Drew, Stephanie, Katie, Chris, Alan, Angela, Jasmine, Jason, Jake, Vivian, Ron, Kristen, Manny, Coleman, Jared, Michelle, Brandon, and Bacon Bits.
Y'all
Thank you
fucking
so much.
rule. Bacon Bits. I'm always happy that we have a cat for one of our Patreon subscribers.
We're
Bacon Bits
very
fucking,
cat friendly
yes,
podcast.
Bacon Bits fucking rules. And with that, I want to tell everybody out there that if you have money that you can give people to make a movie, take a fucking chance. Like if a woman
Yeah,
or if anybody, if they come up with to you with something that is awesome, and you have the money to give it to, fucking just do it. Like at this point, just fucking do it.
you and your college buddies, instead of going on the ski trip
Right.
this winter, fund a fucking movie.
Fund a fucking movie.
And come on
Like,
this podcast and say that you funded a movie by a girl.
goddamn right.
Exactly.
Yes, please. We
And
will
I
listen.
and I
We'll
will
white knight
say
you.
along these lines, I will say there's an opportunity for me to do something in September with something that's on the Black Mansion film slate.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
and it's the really violent thing that I was talking about earlier. And I do need some money to do
Yeah.
it. So, and you guys have already been very kind. And thank you for your support. But if anyone listening can also support, that would be amazing.
Say
Yeah,
it with
and we're gonna
cash.
put,
Say it with
yes.
cash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are gonna put, we
Everyone
will
gave her $1, $1 American.
This is true.
This is why I
one
feel that
singular dollar.
that's why we need to do a telethon. My answer to everything is to do a telethon. You put your hand right above the Garfield phone and you go, come and pledge $5 to send this woman where she needs to go for Black Mansion films.
Yeah.
Hell
Listen,
yeah.
during the pandemic, fucking Post Malone did a basement, like basically a telethon concert doing acoustic Nirvana covers, and like it fucking made a whole shitload of money. And that's, we can recreate that. We
Oh
can
my
have
God,
somebody doing
telethon
some
would
More
be
cool
people
shit.
that have
amazing.
money like that also need to chip in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Remember where
We can
you
make some
came
shit
from.
happen. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So if we all here want to do a Black Mansion film telethon where we're ridiculous and we're taking calls on Garfield phones, I'm always in to raise
I'm
money.
fucking
Hell
in.
yeah.
And any extra
Absolutely.
money we could put towards an awesome charity. We could put towards like a mini development fund, anything.
Mhm.
Anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, when Black Mansion needs a development fund, it's for stuff like this. It's to send the people over to the markets, and it's sometimes just to like get a line budget done. I have a film that we're working on. It took $5,000 to get the line budget done, and like that's what made the film come to life.
Yeah. Or like
Yep.
a deal memo or, some start paperwork because attorneys are expensive
But it
and
Yeah.
makes
yeah.
it, but also it's like it's the cost of stuff, Elise, but like it makes the thing real.
Yeah.
Each of
Yeah.
these little tiny dollars, it's like, oh, but it's only this, it's only a legal form, it's only a line budget. It convinces the people with money that this is a real thing.
Yeah.
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 1000%. Well, with that, I want to tell everybody also, we've talked about this on the show, but the world's crazy right now. It's dark, shit's fucked up, and
Fucking
sometimes,
sucks.
yeah, right now it's right now it's not the greatest. So if you got any brain ghosts that are piping up and you need to talk to anybody, just shoot us a message. You can shoot Graham a message on
We could
Instagram,
talk about
on Threads.
underground fight clubs.
Fucking A right. We'll talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about to get your mind off the bullshit
Or
because we
Judy
need,
Bloom. I don't
yeah.
care.
We need more horror fans out here, not less. So again, if you guys are going through it, hit us up. We are more than happy to listen and bullshit with you, just to get the poison out for you. And with that, everybody, start some fires, break some glass.
Thank you so much.
Hail Satan.
Thank you, everybody. Now, the opposite of this show.